Welcome back to another installment of Married at First Sight. What is this, episode 6 or episode 600? You know, they're actually moving fast, so I can't even knock them this season. Hit the like and subscribe button as the intro plays. All right, so, we come back and they are still on the honeymoon, everybody. So does this make 3 episodes of the honeymoon? All right, so Juan and Carla are out having breakfast or something by the beach, and Juan loses his mind and tells Carla that he and David were having a bromance and they were off doing things, and he totally forgot about Carla. Why did he do that? It's as if Carla was looking through his soul, casting a spell on Juan.
May you stay rocking ankle socks where your enemies suck you. May your menudo taste like caca and fools the world bless you.
After he said that, she's like, you forgot about me? Yeah. Listen, Juan. And he said on the after show that, it was a mistake. It was a bad usage of words. He should have said that, he was just having so much fun or whatever. You shouldn't have said it, Juan. You made a mistake, and Carla wanted revenge for that. You know what? I said it in my last video that Carla's spicy side would come out, and guess what? It did. Carla then decided to take the bags, for Juan to put his clothes and hide them from him. And so Juan ended up finding a plastic bag somewhere in the resort, as they actually did a cenote trip, which Carla booked a photo shoot. However, she wasn't into it because she was still mad about Juan's words because he said he forgot about her. Well, there we have it. We got our spicy Latina. She's being vindictive and petty.
Yeah, we're not lunatics, but you mess with us and we mess with you.
She's being petty Pilates. For one, she's party of one. Petty party of one. It came out. So then, she had to work through it as they did this photo shoot in the cenote, and I couldn't have done it. My sister loves the cenote. Every time we go to Mexico, let's go to the cenote. But anyhow, Carla got over it eventually. Now let's get back to it. Let's talk about David and Michelle. We're not going through the episode frame by frame. We never do. David and Michelle are lost children, our couple to hate, and the girl to hate and the guy to feel sorry for. But do we really feel sorry for David? So Michelle has decided to, turn that frown upside down, unlike Tom. And she's decided to, give a little bit. She's decided to, let that guard down just a smidge.
I don't know, I'm just upset.
Because I think production got into that ass and, basically told her, look, you got to give us something or we're going to take away your stipend or something. So, she decided to open up to Dave a little bit. I'm calling him David a little bit. And, she let David know that she was from a small town where, basically her grandmother lived next door to her. And then when her grandmother passed, her father moved in. So she's from a small town. And it seems to me that she doesn't like David because David is probably who she doesn't want to be. David living with his parents is a reflection, is probably her looking at what her life could possibly be. Like her father, everybody living in such close quarters, and she's running from her past.
Message.
That's my assessment. Michelle is running from her past, and David, though he's the Puerto Rican version of her past, he's her past, and she doesn't like what she sees. So therefore, although she did try to open up a bit, and on the after show, because we talk about the after show, she actually gave David praise. I think she gave him praise because she realized she was getting a lot of flack on social media, because they record the after show after the show is finished filming. So she realized she was praising him, saying he was being very kind and thoughtful to her throughout the whole thing. Yeah. So, let's go to my favorite phonies, or phony, Ikechi and MM. All right, they are still fronting like they have this connection. This connection is so fake on Ike's part, and I really hope and pray that MM is onto it and she's making those faces like, is he really gonna keep telling me all this BS? Because the way she's looking is like, I don't believe it. You need more people. But then again, it's looking like I'm in love. So he's still spouting off all that BS and she's eating it up.
They're lying. Just lying.
Let's go to my favorite boring couple. Somebody told me in the comments last week that Camille was not boring. Okay, she's a little boring though. You got to admit she's not that exciting. She may not be boring, but she's not exciting. So, Tom decided, I can't get my voice as deep as him. I wanted to show Camille that I take initiative, so I planned a salsa class. Okay, so you should have planned something that would make you look good, Tom, in her eyes, because you were looking like Rhythmless Nation. What do I have in my notes about them? Yeah, you were looking like Rhythmless Nation. So later on in the show, Tom expresses that, he and Camille had a talk, and basically it came down to Camille saying, "You're not black enough for me, Tom."
I'm rooting for everybody black.
In so many words, I guess she was more polite. We weren't privy to the conversation. But, Tom expressed, I've been going through this my whole life, being biracial, not being around a lot of black people. And it's funny that another biracial person was telling him that he's not black enough. You know what? Black people, y'all gonna get enough of saying that to people that they're not black enough. But, Tom says, I'm used to it. I may not be black enough. And as we know later on in the season from the clips that she says he's lacking the swag that she likes. Ugh, I hate that word, swag. But, and y'all, and women, you're going to get tired of wanting these men with swag. A man with swag was less likely to want to go to salsa dancing class with you, or going to paint and sip with you, or they're less likely to want to do these things with you. These creative things, these ideas that you've had since childhood. Ooh, when I get a man, we're gonna do this together. These cool dudes you like, these bad boys you tend to like, they're not gonna want to do that. They're gonna want to do what they want to do and mistreat you and blah blah blah. So you're better off with somebody like Tom.
I do not believe in love.
I mean, not exactly like Tom, because he is a little bit boring. I think it's just his tone, his dry tone, and having lived in the Midwest for a long time back in the day, it's a flat, dry tone with a lot of people. So maybe that's what it is about Tom. Maybe he's just not that. Nah, he's bored. I take it back. So let's go to Madison and Alan. Madison, again, I said she thinks she's cuter than she is. And she just thinks she's in a different league than Alan. And in my opinion, to me, on an attraction level, they're kind of equal. Aside from her being this workout girl, they're kind of equal facially to me. And actually, from a frontal view, Alan looks better until you see his profile. But and Alan makes up for it, to me at least, with his personality. I like that dry, goofy sense of humor, but maybe she doesn't. And so they actually did something interesting to me, probably not to the masses of you who have this linear way of thinking and a traditional way of thinking, but they actually went to visit a shaman who was helping them cleanse and, get to the bottom, the roots of everything. And Alan divulged that he's always in his head, and Madison was just kind of there. But that seemed like something that would have been up Carla's alley. And actually, Madison made a comment that Carla should be here. That would have been something good for Carla and Juan to do. But, I would do it. Next time I'm in Mexico, I might go visit a shaman. Yeah, that might be cool. So, the couples, they have their couples dinner, the last night dinner, and they all go around the table, saying what they need and what they're getting or what they would like to get from their couples and what they're looking forward to. And the consensus is, Chicago will tell. When we get back to Chicago and really start living and getting into our routine, that'll really tell what's really good. But here's the thing that stood out to me. Akechi was saying, I don't want to get close to her. I don't want to have any physical contact until, basically I know. You've been on a honeymoon with this girl for, at this point, it's been like 5 days. If you don't want to show her any affection now, you're not going to want to show her any affection in Chicago when she's in her nurse practitioner scrubs and you're doing whatever you do. And he's saying, it's like he's setting her up to distance himself from her by saying, oh, my work is already calling and, you're going to be busy with work and this and that. And MM is like, look, there's always room, because basically you make room or time for what you want to do. And so he's already setting the stage to distance himself from her.
And we can do it the easy way or the hard way.
And I just don't understand why she buys it. He's playing it like he is so fly and I just, I want to wait, I don't want to get too physical. Juan is like that too. But, Michelle is still in awe that, that these people aren't acting anxious like she is. She's really anxious. And she's even said that, she wants to stay in, a separate room. She didn't want to sleep in the same bed with David. I mean, David seems like he growls in his sleep. He really does. I mean, he seems nice enough, but I can see why the hesitance from not really wanting to be with David. He does come off as a little gruff and aggressive and rah, like a dungeon dragon.
Count him too. Then we got Alpha and Secret. Yes, sir. You know what I'm saying?
He's just a little bit much. So, they get back to Chicago and they go to the, shared apartments and everybody's like, oh, wow, great. This is lovely. Oh. And guess what happens? Madison decides to go out. She said, it's summertime, shy. I'm about to go to happy hour with my friends and I'm going to leave Alan in the hot tub. And Alan said on the after show, he actually finished off a 6-pack because the wine is gone and he was talking to a German lady. He was disappointed because she left. And that vlogger guy, YouTuber, or whatever he is, podcaster, Latarius, who'd been married 9 years and was divorced, and I guess we were tracking his singlehood back to marriage. He said that, we only have one time to celebrate first. You have to be careful with first. And that was their first night in the shared apartment. And Madison just bailed. So we know how that's going to go.
I want to talk to you.
Oh, I forgot to mention, Madison also basically in a roundabout way told Alan that he was out of shape and she liked somebody who was physically fit and who didn't dress crazy with crazy prints and crazy underwear. And she's like, but I don't want you to change. Yes, you do. You want him to be a totally different person, Madison. But anyhow, that's all I have for Married at First Sight. Drop it in the comments and tell me what you think. Did you see the clip for next week? And they showed David's basement apartment and he asked her, was this what you expected? And she's like, yeah. And you know what? Honestly, that's what I expected. I was hoping that it would be a nice garden apartment, but I'm guessing that David and his parents probably live in the ungentrified part of, or non-gentrified, if that's even a word, of Humboldt Park in Chicago. I'm guessing they live over there, like almost on the west side, not quite hitting the west side, but almost there. So anyhow, drop into the comments and tell me what you think. Like and subscribe.